3.
Awesome. So our show today, we're going to be exploring the power of the cell, the mitochondria of the cell, the engine of the cell, and its fuel, ATP, and how we can fuel our cells. There's a lot of different supplements out there. Very few do I get, inspired and really impressed by. And one of my colleagues, as you guys know, Dr. Kolsa, had introduced me to Ryan, and we dropped in about it, and I got some, and I've been on it for probably about like 5 days now, I want to say, and just been really, really impressed and amazed with it. And there's a topical product as well that's really powerful. So, but in order to have a deeper understanding, we got to explore what it is. What is fueling the cell? What gives us fuel and whatnot? So, with that, I'm going to bring in my brother, Ryan Conley. So wonderful to have you with me, bro. I'm glad we could do this on a sacred Sunday.
Definitely. Thank you, Micah. I know we both just got back from church, so here we are. Awesome.
Here we are. That's right. Giving praise to our sacred house of prayer, the body. And how can we, give praise to that? Obviously, energy is such an important thing with health and wellness, and it's a sure sign that you are healthy is that you have lots of energy. And in a world where there's so much toxification, it's challenging these days. We're kind of, our immune systems are under attack, and so anything we can get in our arsenal of health and wellness is important. It's what we like to talk about and share, pay homage to here at Release Sundays Live. So seems like a perfect fit. So you want to share a little bit about your story, I guess, and we'll go from there.
Yes, most definitely. So, man, where did I start? I guess we could go back to like middle school when we were in biology and learning how to color in the mitochondria in the cells. And since that point, I've heard a lot of doctors talking about mitochondria, especially since past jab seasons in the past few years and stuff like that. They're talking about how our mitochondria is under attack. And I never really gave this much thought. A little about me. I'm currently 47 years old, and I have been suffering from, which is very, very well documented at the amenclinic.com. I've had my brain scanned 5 times by Dr. Daniel Amen team, where I was diagnosed with frontal temporal lobe dementia. And so I just want to say up front that this call is not about treating, cure, treat, whatever, a disclaimer for anything that we're discussing. This is my personal testimonial. And I've suffered, Micah, for 26 years, since 1997, when these symptoms came on. And, long story short, I've been on the product now for 11 days. And I was honestly suicidal for those 20 plus years right there, because I had tried all the antidepressants. I had tried everything out there. And it was, I felt like my life was coming to an end, because I had dissociation identity disorder, not be able to really relate so much on this earthly plane, it felt like, anymore. And I felt like it's time for me to check out. So this product, we can get more into this, but it seriously saved my life. I actually just canceled my prescription to go get Ambien, because that's how I wanted to say farewell. And I canceled that as soon as I started this product. But I've been in health and wellness for quite some time. I was working with different frequency devices. I had some success over the years. I think that's how I kept myself here to the point of functioning, was using frequency medicine. I have explored all different, injected stem cells even into my brain over at Dominican Republic. Spent like $50,000 injecting stem cells numerous times into my cerebral spinal fluid, and also directly into my brain, which I have proof of that as well. And this product seriously is just, I'm so passionate about, because I really think that we can change a lot of lives with this product.
I agree. And that's kind of, again, it's only worth doing things that produce results. It's what my motto is: you shouldn't waste your time or energy or anything on anything that doesn't produce results. It's the telltale sign of, it's what, it's why I got into neuromuscular use therapy. It's why I became the founder of this work, is it healed me where I didn't have to get surgery. So to dive deep, just for the
I just want to say on that note right there, in just our highest calling, just helping other people. Like, we've been blessed to go through these conditions, and it's like, what is our highest calling every day? What makes us happy? It's not about making money. That's just a byproduct of having an impact on the world right there.
Exactly. That's it right there. And so, well, just for mechanics, for everyone who's not familiar, this is a mitochondria. Let me see. I could actually probably share it in here. Why don't I just do that? We'll go to photos, share there. Can you see? You can see this now, yeah?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. We got mitochondria. Looks like a good one.
So we got the mitochondria of the cell right there. And look at this magic glowing little engine. This thing is designed to run and produce the fuel for us. Let me see. There we go. Here's a breakdown of the cell structure itself for those that want a little biology revival lesson, because most of us don't even what's in our cell. Well, our cell is a jam-packed piece of technology in and of itself. And you can see the mitochondria right here. They're kind of placed around the actual cell within the cell membrane. And their function is, again, to produce ATP. And through this process, they continue to write, the telomeres of the DNA and continue the generating of healthy tissue, which gets compromised in us. So that's why we start our aging process. You can actually see here, this is a basic rundown of the difference between a plant cell and animal cell and the different specialized cells. But in short, you have a basic breakdown of what is inside of a cell itself. And the mitochondria, in and of itself, is described as a rod-like structure, but it converts energy in food molecules into a form of energy that the cell can use. And that's its kind of short range description, if you will. So anything we can do to improve that process for the cell is going to give you more fuel in your cell. Now, when we look at the basic breakdown of a mitochondria, you can see in its structure the mitochondrial DNA. You can see the ribosomes, and then you can see what's marked within here is the ATP synthase. Now, this is where kind of the magic takes place of the process of energy conjuring, if you will. And I'm just taking everyone through kind of a brief breakdown of why the mitochondria creates an aging process and why it gets damaged is all the things that we kind of started off with that's going on in our society today, from environmental toxins to food toxins to physical stress or event-based traumas. And then, of course, we talked about the quacks being one of those aspects that is also extremely damaging. And then we also will throw in free radicals and particulates in the environment from, everything from what's spread out in the skies to what's dumped into your water. So what fuels a healthy mitochondria normally is physical activity, a good, healthy, cleaner environment, good, healthy, clean food, and that trinity creates and produces ATP energy. The problem is we're kind of short on all three of those these days, huh?
Wi-Fi, internet, right? All that.
Yeah, we didn't even include the radionics contamination into this side over here, but the trinity of health and wellness is also in and of itself. Our food has been really compromised these days. Environmentally, it's very hard to find a clean and pure place to even live and exist, especially if your work requires you to be, let's say, in a fairly toxic city. And people in general, especially after the last 3 and 4 years, had a real hit to their physical activity unless you chose to rebel against the socially engineered, fear psychosis ritual that we were all indoctrinated through. But ultimately, how do we compensate is the question, and that's where I think if you can find powerful supplements, it makes a huge difference in that regard. It really does.
Right.
And all these things are cumulative, you know what I mean? So like to the point where you're talking about that state of mental stress and almost the state of wanting to end it, that is stress-based accumulation over one's life that could, sometimes outweigh the toxins or the unhealthy food. Not going to say that they don't assist in the process, but your mind and body are interconnected. So one of the biggest things that causes the telomeres in your DNA to continue being written is purpose, is feeling inspired to go on, that you have a purpose here. If your body doesn't if you have nothing to do or no purpose here, your cells are even like, why are we continuing to write the train tracks for more DNA? What's the purpose? What's the point? So a lack of energy can definitely be, I can tell you with a Parkinson's patient I'm working with, a majority of Parkinson's patients really have an issue with is fatigue. It's one of the most detrimental symptoms for Parkinson's is feeling exhausted all the time. So that's one of the reasons I found this product and some other supplements is I'm in intensive treatments with this patient right now and seeing anything that we can use to really help him rehabilitate. So I got some obviously for myself and I've been really blown away with it. You want to share, should we dive into the mechanics of what this stuff is, or should we go a little more into your story first?
Well, I think let's switch gears and I'll kind of share what happened to me here, Micah, because if you want to turn the screen share off for a second, we can see each other even better here for our viewers.
Yeah.
You know, this was 11 days ago is when I began on the product, 11 days ago. And at that point, what happened was my friend called me up, Reggie, and we had a fallout about a year and a half ago. And he called me and said, you know what, God told me to forgive you. And for us, you know, let bygones be bygones, and let's move forward. And he also said that God told me that I've got something that's really going to help you with your condition, because he knew what I was up against. And I was like, well, what is it? Like, I've tried absolutely everything out there, you know, all the pharmaceuticals, just absolutely everything from even ayahuasca to freaking, you know, 5-MeO toad in Mexico to going to the Andes Mountains in Peru to, you know, for a month also, like trying anything possible. But it was when I got right with God about 4 months ago, and everything in my life started clicking. Not to make this any kind of spiritual religious rant whatsoever at all, but you know, I had been praying for something come in my life that was going to change my life. And when Reggie called me and said that right there, and he told me about this, I had a feeling inside that when he said that to me, that it resonated with me. And I remember he gave me a video that night. It was a YouTube video about all these prayers, these biblical prayers about healing. And as I was listening in bed that night, I remember hearing this message saying, you are so beat down mentally and physically. You are so beat down, even at age 47. And it just confirmed. So when that product came, that was on Tuesday. The product came on Saturday at 2 p.m. I took that stuff and I took about 0.75 mLs underneath my tongue right there. Actually, I think it was closer to about a half ml. And I laid down on this couch right here before I was going to go into town the next hour. And as I was laying there, all of a sudden I felt this flutter. 20 minutes into it, I felt this, and I wasn't expecting to feel anything right away. I was just seeing what's up, you know? And I laid there, all of a sudden I felt this fluttering on the side of my head. It felt like a hummingbird wing fluttering on the side of my head. And I was like, man, what is that? I've never felt this sensation before. What is this? But it felt like really peaceful. I said, I was going to feel into this. And all of a sudden this inner peace came over my head, came over my upper, you know, up here. And I was like, and I felt peace inside for the first time in 26 years. And this peace went through like my entire body, like this massive reset took place. I'm not being dramatic when I say this, Micah. This was when this happened. I remember thinking to myself, and before this, there was times I prayed and I said, God, why have you forsaken me? Because when people said that God is peace and God is love, I couldn't feel love even for myself, because I didn't feel peace whatsoever for 26 years when it was my downward spiral back when my symptoms started kicking off for this dementia thing I was diagnosed with. So anyways, this product, as soon as I took it and that inner peace came, I decided to see if this was a placebo effect or not. I went out into the real world and went downtown. I went to this Mexican restaurant to get some food, and I walked into the place. And this is what I remember. This is so interesting. And when I walked in that room, my energy was just off the freaking charts. I'm not talking about like a caffeine high. I'm talking about I was like my energy presence was just like my vibration was impressive. And I remember there was a couple out of the corner of my eye, and one thing I remember about my condition, as I think you even hear me talking about my condition in past tense right now, is it was difficult for me to relate to people and understand how they were feeling, because this is my dissociation identity disorder. It was kind of like I was on the side of a glass mirror and life was over here. I felt like a NPC or something, just fake it in this world to make it, you know? And I remember walking in that place, I saw this couple out to my right. And all of a sudden, it was a Hispanic guy and his girlfriend. When I walked in, the guy felt like intimidated or something like this, or I don't want to say it like that. But what I noticed about him was he kind of postured himself up when I was around. I could see this out of my corner of my eye. His girl, like noticed it about him that he was like raising up and showing how manly, present he was right there. And it raised her up because she looked better being with a dude that was like now raised up. So I could really notice in the room that I was raising the vibration of this room. It's not that I was better than this dude. I'm not even saying that whatsoever, but I will say that my vibration was higher than anyone in this room. I can say that if you're on this product, you will outshine you'll be outshined by people on this product. And so then I remember I haven't been in a relationship for 4 months, and I was like, well, because flirting with women and stuff was always kind of fun, right? And so I go to the front desk. There's a lady there serving the food, and I just had that twinkle in my eye, right? It was just like the twinkle in my eye was back. And you could just, the sense of trust was back, because Micah, what's interesting is the eyes are the window to the soul. We've all heard this saying before, the eyes are the window to the soul. And we will look at mitochondria, the most dense amount of mitochondria is in our eyes, our brain, and our heart, right? So in mitochondria also is in all in all cells of our body, except the red blood cells. It's in the stem cells, and it's also in the neurons. So that's why we're having such mental awakenings with this stuff. But I tell you what, ever since I took I've taken that product, every single day, my vision has increased. Before it was like narrow vision that you hear about when people have dysfunctions of dementia symptoms. Now I call omnidome vision. You know what I'm saying? Like I can look at the stars and the galaxies now and take it all in, instead of just looking at one star and not being able to take it all in and forgetting about how that star was acting as I'm just, as I'm connecting the dots. I'll say one more thing here how I describe mitochondria is, if you look at the can lighting in a ceiling, for example, okay, you cannot have light in the dark. You can't have dark in the light. Okay. So now if you had like one light went out in that can ceiling, okay, the room would still be lit, but up in that can, it's dark in that can right there. Okay. So imagine that being your mitochondria as we go through like a physical stress or a mental stress or something like this, a can light, we blow a fuse, we'll just call it, or whatever. And that it's off. So then what I foresee and what I recognize from my own symptomology, if that's the word, is that when we have these negative thoughts and stuff like this, they reside in those dark light, that not lack of light right there is what happens. So as we crank up with this product, since it goes with nanotechnology going straight in the mitochondria, we're actually increasing the voltage, ramping up the power of those mitochondria back to where we're like 5 or 10 years old. We're synchronizing those lights. The lights are all coming back on again, and the energy in the light is now throughout the room. It's throughout our body, which it makes those negative thoughts in my experience just dissipates.
Yeah,
I haven't had a suicidal thought. I haven't had a suicidal thought for 12 days now, and I would think about it every single 5 minutes of the day, unless I was sleeping, for 6 years, brother.
Wow.
True story.
Wow. Yeah. It's funny because we're both taking this, but we're in different places with where we're at in our lives and our mental states. And so it's a powerful thing for you guys to kind of bear witness to both of our experiences. Like it's so powerful to hear how this is assisting you on a mental level. For me, it's been more of a cellular fueling. So like from the moment I would take it and I would hold it under my tongue sublingually for as long as I could, I could describe it like a warming sensation in all of my cells.
Yeah.
Of the body.
Like a synchronicity kind of. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was fueling through all of my cells. Like and at first I kind of was like the same. I was like, is this a placebo? Was this just because, we've been talking about this and you've been having such an experience with it. And then after the second or third round, I could start differentiating, feeling the fuel go in, the activator and the fuel uptake. And we've been building a living foods kitchen on this farm, which has been a journey. And we're building a garden with lava rocks, like 50 to 70 pound lava rocks and I was just hauling rocks like to where my staff and people assisting us were making note of how I just kept going. And
I do 10 minutes of work exercise a day. That is all with this product. I do 4 exercises and I have people join me. I say no sweating and no cardio. My body is shredding faster than me being in the gym for a 45 to an hour minute workout. And my abs are coming out. I take this cream, I put it on my side of my stomach, I put it on my dad bod sides right here, and it's just going like just like this. So I
definitely was blown away with the topical. Now what, I have we're running out of time for the temporary Zoom thing that I have. So
that's okay.
Let me see if
what I'll do is I'll send you a Zoom link for a second one after this, brother. So go ahead and do this. It's fine. Okay, after this, but continue.
Okay, so we'll let it run for 3:40 and then just send me that link and we'll pop back on, guys. So we'll just have a small interrupt once this. So when I put it on my face, that's what I felt. I felt it just pull and lift and tone.
You look beautiful, brother.
Yeah, I was like blown away with.
I'm 47, bro, and I had a Botox appointment. I had a Botox appointment. I usually will go here, above. I've done it a few times in my life. I'm 47. Look at this. My skin, I had to cancel my appointment. I said, I don't need Botox. That saves like 600, 800 bucks a year right there, where this stuff is $100 a month. I mean, my skin just feels glowing big time off this stuff.
And my daughter has also had her own challenges with just acne stuff, being 16, and she's very picky about the things that she'll use on her actual skin. And I let her try it, and she comes out, she's using it every night. She's really just
keep posting.
Yeah, she really likes it.
I mean,
what's the difference? What's in the gel? That's the interesting thing. Do you want to go into because we're going to talk about nanoparticulates for sure, and the difference between nano supplemental particulates and traditional supplements and how they permeate the cell. So because there's a patent that they call this XDS T035, right?
XDS, the extra delivery system, whatever it is. Yes, this is version 3.0. I think on our next video here in a few minutes, we'll get it chapter 2. We'll get into the ingredients and stuff like this. But I think concluding this video around right here, Mike, it's amazing how we are connecting. Health is the first wealth. And for us to be able to get together and have such a positive impact on people's health. Like I'm going to Dubai and Malaysia this week. I bought like $2,000 worth of product to bring to some of my top, networkers across the globe and stuff like this. And it's like, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have health, it's like, what's the freaking point? So, and it's,
I've been giving this stuff to different people just to try it. Like literally patients of mine, a couple of my apprentices that were here having them, my daughters.
Let's touch base and just mention other, what things that people are noticing off this product. I mean, I've seen people, obviously improve mental clarity, the sleep. How do you like the sleep, brother?
That's one that was really noticeable is, Dr. Kulsa told me his dreams were super crazy. And I was like, wow, okay. And the first night I usually have intense dreams anyways, but they were so vivid. They were so integrated. Like, I mean, I could describe, I was floating on like some kind of device satellite over Ethiopia, like in so much detail did I come out of the dream.
My dead grandma, and she prayed for me and mine. I said, Grandma, I want to pray for you, because I lost her as a kid, and I said that to her. She said after me, she goes, and I want to pray for you. It was like 90 something. My dream, I was laying next to her in bed, and just those little words had a ripple effect for like my whole entire future out, is what it felt like to me right there. I think that's a good place to stop right here on this video, bro.
We'll take a sacred pause, guys. We'll take a sacred pause. He's going to send me the link, and we'll get back on.
See you guys on the
and I'll keep sharing just on the